So in previous classes we have discussed modern physics, atoms, photoelectric effect, and also matter waves. And last concept here is before entering into nuclear physics, we have to go for X-rays, a small concept. So what are X-rays means? X-rays are electromagnetic radiation. X-rays are electromagnetic radiation of short wavelength. Short wavelength, that is 0.5 to 10 angstroms. 0.5 to 10 angstroms. X-rays are electromagnetic radiation of very short wavelength of the order of 0.5 to 10 angstroms. These are discovered by Rontgen, R-O-N-T-G-N. Rontgen, but we spell it as Rontgen, and so you can also call them as Rontgen rays. Rontgen rays or X-rays. Now, these are produced in a Coolidge tube. These are produced in Coolidge tube when we heat the target at 20,000 volts. So it is here the energy required is the potential of the order of 20,000 volts. High potentials are used, generally very high potentials. Now how they are produced is, see, this is the target element, this is the target atom, this is the target atom, target element. In that element there are a number of atoms. When high speed electron, which electron? High energy or high speed electron, high energy or high speed electron hits the target. When high speed electron hits the target, and the target emits photon, target emits X-ray, electromagnetic radiation or X-ray photon. When the target emits electromagnetic radiation or X-ray photon, and that photon is the photon means E is equals to h nu. Mean the energy is the energy or frequency is mean the same. Also implies c by lambda. The wavelength is very short wavelength. Therefore, energy is very high. Therefore, X-rays are generated when electron of higher energy hits the target element. Then photons are emitted. If you observe carefully, the important factor here is in photoelectric effect. We discussed when photon falls on the metal surface. When photons falls on the metal surface emits electrons. That is photoelectric effect. Coming to the X-rays, what we are saying, when electron of higher energy falls on the metal surface, the metal surface, target element or metal surface emits photons. Means the production of X-rays is reverse process of photoelectric effect. So, or you can say photoelectric effect is the reverse process of production of X. This is the basic introduction. Therefore, when high energetic electron hits the target, then the target emits some photons. Those photons we call them as X-ray photons, whose wavelength is of the order of 0.5 to 10 angstroms. Very short wavelength. Generally, in electromagnetic spectrum, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, and microwaves. Like this we get. Here these are having high frequency. As we go on, the frequency goes on decreasing. Means time period increases. Frequency goes on decreasing. So this is a basic introduction of X-rays, and these are introduced by Rontgen. Now let us see what is Moseley's law. So what is Moseley's law is the square root of frequency of the spectral line X-ray or spectral emitted is directly proportional to the atomic number of the target elements. Is directly proportional to atomic number of the target element. The square root of frequency of the X-ray spectral line is directly proportional to the atomic number of the target element, or you can say root nu is equals to A into Z minus B. Root nu is equals to A into Z minus B. Here, what is A there? A is a slope of the curve. A is slope and B is screening constant. B is screening constant. A is slope and B is called as the screening constant. So this is the format how it is on. This is root nu is equals to AZ minus AB. Y is equals to mx minus c format. Y is equals to mx minus c format. If you plot a graph of this one, then we get this one as this is K series. Here y is root over frequency here, and in place of x we are having z atomic number. Here z is atomic number of the target element. Atomic number. Z is the atomic number. Z is atomic number. So the graph is something like this. Okay. Now what is the slope is? The slope is equals to A. The slope is A. On in different spectral series we are having this is for K alpha. Then we get this is K beta. This is K series. K series. Then we get L series. We get L series also. Then we get L series also. So this is alpha. K alpha and this is K beta. This is L alpha, L beta, L gamma lines. First, this is L series. This is L series. For K series, most importantly, for K series, the value of B is equals to 1. For K series, the value of B is equals to 1. For L series, the value of B is equals to 7. This is a screening constant that is fixed. Screening constant that is fixed. Therefore, for K series, B is equals to 1. L series, B is equal to 7.4. And for M series, it is 9. B is equals to 9 and so on and so forth. If you use for K series, if you use different targets, for different targets means Z1 and Z2 for K series, then what are this equation? Root over nu1 by nu2 is equals to root over nu1 by nu2 is equals to Z1 minus 1 by Z2 minus 1. Z1 minus 1 by Z2 minus 1, because slope remains constant. Therefore, here root over nu1 by nu2 is equal to, we are going for K series. For K series means you take that B screening constant as 1. L series screening constant as 7.4. For M series screening constant as 9. We are talking for the K series and for different target elements. Then what we have? A into Z1 minus B mean B is 1. A is constant. Therefore, U1 root of nu1 by nu2 is equals to Z1 minus 1 by Z1 minus 2. Z1 minus 1 by Z1 minus, so Z2 minus 1. This can also be written in another way as, so nu is equal, squaring on both sides, nu is equals to A square into Z minus B whole square. This can also define another way also as the frequency of the spectral line is directly proportional to the square of the atomic number, because that square here it is a square of the atomic number. Most precisely we take this one as the Moseley's law, root nu proportional to Z minus B. A square root of frequency is directly proportional to the atomic number of the target element. Now if you consider this one, if you consider X-rays, then what happens to the wave number? Generally we know that wave number is equals to, wave number nu bar is equals to, wave number nu bar is equals to 1 by lambda, that is equals to R into R z square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. R is Rydberg constant, Z is the atomic number. For hydrogen we take for hydrogen, Z is equals to 1. For singly ionized helium we take Z is equals to 2, and triply ionized lithium, doubly ionized lithium we take z is equals to 3, therefore that z is there. Now for x-rays we modify the same as nu bar is equals to 1 by lambda, that is r into z minus b whole square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This is the modification of the wave number for x-rays. Nu bar is equals to 1 by lambda, that is equals to r into z minus b. This is b is equals to, I told you, b is equal to 1 for K series, b is equals to 2 for L, sorry, 7.4 for L series, and b is equals to 9 for M series, and so on and so forth. This is the modification of the wave number formula given in hydrogen spectrum or atomic structure chapter for calculation of wave numbers or wavelength. This is modified for the X-rays as nu bar is 1 by lambda is equal to r into z minus b whole square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2. That is the atomic number of the target atom. Okay. Now what are the types of X-rays? Types of X-rays are we are having continuous X-rays and characteristic X-rays. Types are number one is continuous X-rays. Number 2 is characteristic X-rays. Continuous X-rays and characteristic X-rays. Now how can we get the continuous X-rays? Means the continuous X-rays are obtained. So this is the nucleus plus nucleus. This is first orbit, K shell. This is K shell. This is L shell. These are the electrons, and K, L, M, and so on and so forth. Now when high velocity electron passes nearby the nucleus, then what happens? There is a attraction between the nucleus and high velocity electron. As a result of that attraction, the path of the electron may get changes. If it is done like this, the path of the electron may get changes. The path of the electron may get changes due to this attractive force. Therefore, this lowers the energy. This lowers the energy of the electron. This change in the energy is emitted as a X-ray photon. This change in energy is emitted as X-ray photon. This is something about characteristic X-rays. If you have a characteristic spectrum, then we get wavelength and intensity. You will get something like this. Graphs are something like this for wavelength and intensity. Graphs are something like this, and this is for K series, L series, M series, and so on and so forth. Now these are all occurs at 20,000 volts. Now what is the characteristic X-ray spectrum? Characteristic, very important. See here in this also, in this continuous spectrum, we know that E is equals to h nu, that's equals to hc by lambda, implies lambda is equals to hc by E, that's hc by E V naught. Therefore lambda is equals to hc by E V naught. This X-ray photon, we can use this formula. What is V naught there? V naught is the accelerating potential. I told you this occurs at 20,000 volts or so. This law is called as Duane-Hunt, D-U-U-N-E, Duane-Hunt law. This law is called as Duane-Hunt law. Lambda is equal to hc by E V naught is called as Duane-Hunt law. Now, what is the characteristic X-ray spectrum? Characteristic X-ray spectrum. Characteristic now. This is a nucleus, this is first orbit, the second orbit, and third orbit, K, L, M, so on and so forth. In continuous, we have taken high speed electrons. Now when high energetic electrons, when electron energy is high, when energy of electron is very high, when energy of electron is very high, it just enters into the inner shells. It enters into the inner shells, this K shell, and knocks this is electron, and knocks the electron in this shell, and electron comes out like this. Immediately what happens? A hole will be, a vacant space will be occur here. This is a vacant space now. Electron is coming out. Therefore, this is a vacant space here. Then what happens? immediately the electron in the higher energy level will occupy that place. Immediately the electron in the higher energy level will occupy that place. This is K shell, this is L shell. This is one end, this is one end. Let us take n is equals to 1, n is equals to 2. Now when high energetic X-ray passes nearby the nucleus, then because of high energy, it knocks the electron in the lower orbits. Therefore the electron comes out from this one, and then this electron will also again come, this electron also comes out. Now as the electron in this comes out, there is a vacancy in this place. Then what happens? The electron in the higher orbit immediately occupy this place by emitting a photon. Because when vacant space is there, immediately occupied by the higher energy level electron. Therefore electron jumps from a higher energy level to lower energy level. E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. This is emitted as a X-ray photon. This is something about these X-ray photons are called as characteristic X-ray photons. Now if you plot a graph for this one, this is wavelength and this is intensity. The graphs are something like these are the graphs. This is K beta, this is K alpha, this is L gamma, L beta, L alpha. These are overshoots. These are called as overshoots in the spectra-X. This is spectrum. This is spectrum. This is spectrum. And this is lambda minimum. This is called as lambda naught threshold. We call this one as threshold. We call this one as threshold wavelength to emit X-rays. And finally and lastly, we have the energies. Let us see the energy when spectral lines. Now, spectrum. Now let us say this is K shell, L shell, L shell, M shell, N levels. This is minus of 20,000 volts. This is minus 2,000 volts energies. Here 200 volts. This is 20 volts. This is 2 volts and 0 volts. Just like this. This is K, L, M, N, O, P, etc. N is equals to 1. N is equals to 2, N is equals to 3, N is equals to 4, N is equals to 5, and so on and so forth. And again, we know that levels. First level, this is K alpha, this is K beta, 2 to 1. Next, this one is. So, this is L alpha, L beta, L gamma. This is M alpha, M beta, M gamma. M alpha, M beta and M gamma. Now if you observe this carefully, K beta is from M to K, isn't it? M to K. Therefore, energy E K beta is equals to E K alpha is equals to E K alpha plus E L alpha. If you have this one carefully, then we get this energy is equals to this energy plus this energy. Therefore, energy K beta is equals to energy K alpha plus energy L alpha. Because E is equals to h nu. This implies hc by lambda. hc by lambda K. Later we can say in this step. H nu K beta is equals to h nu K alpha plus h nu L alpha. H gets cancelled. Nu K beta is equals to nu K alpha plus nu L alpha. As nu is equal to C by lambda K beta is equals to C by lambda K alpha plus C by lambda L alpha. C gets cancelled, and we are remained with what we have. 1 by lambda K beta is equals to 1 by lambda K alpha plus 1 by lambda L alpha. This implies lambda K beta is equals to lambda L alpha into lambda K alpha by lambda K alpha plus lambda L alpha. This is very important equation. This is very important equation. 1 by lambda K beta is equals to 1 by lambda K alpha plus 1 by lambda L alpha. And finally the powers. Here the most of the energy in the X-rays, during the release of X-rays, is wasted in the form of heat. Even 99% of energy can be wasted. 99% of energy can be wasted as in the form of heat. Can be wasted in the form of heat. So only some part of energy out of the incident energy is used as to produce the X-rays. Therefore, efficiency eta is equals to output power by input power into 100. Output power by input power into 100 is the efficiency. Eta is equals to P out by P in into 100. What is power? Power is equals to voltage into current. Voltage into current. VI is called as power. V is voltage and I is the current. So this is something about the X-rays completely. Next we start nuclear physics, right?